Hello, the game has started and my opponent's opened with AU. I have 2 U's and I'm looking at words that begin with UN. Ununited would be good through an N. Pity my opponent hasn't provided one. Not seeing a 7 here, and I'm not seeing an 8 through one of the floaters. The A possibly. Audient plus a U. Now, Utu looks okay for 12. I draw the B and the H. Behind plus a A. Have the bed component of a word and the head component. Bin head, no good. Pinhead is with a P but not with a B as far as I know. What other options do I have? I have the BE prefix. Utu takes a T in front and a K. Okay, if I can just get rid of the hand, that would be 26. Not a good rack leave though. Okay, opponent's kept the board tight. I have Ban and Bath, which actually does sort the rack out quite nicely. I can play Bathe, but it provides an easier 4-timer spot. So I think I'll just go with Bath for 22. A little bit vowel heavy, but yeah, I think playing the E gives opponent easy scoring spots as well. Okay, this looks alright. Is there a bingo? There'd be a number of 8s through the right floater, I guess. But is there a 7 here? E-loined, but not alloined. Wow, this is close. What am I missing? Not seeing it. What about oiled and bathe? 22. Not a good pickup. I've drawn Actually, it is a fairly good pickup. Any line is good. I saw the duplicates and I thought that's not ideal, but after a second glance, there is a bingo here. Noiled, I think might be good. Any line does not play anywhere else. So this will be somewhat irksome. Any line. No, Noiled is no good. I didn't think it was. That is such a shame. Both lanes next to the D and next to AE. That is so unfortunate. no.2, no good. E-band, no good. Wow. Well, there you go. Any line is not to be. Renail for 21. That's a bit better. Springe is good. Sutu not good. Do I have... I don't think I have an 8 starting with an L. Pringles. Now, definitely have something through the A. Spearing doesn't get doubled. But it is a bingo. What about soiled is good? Pingers. Pursing. Pre-sign. Roiled, I think, is good. Bather. Okay, what about bathers? That misses the trip. Okay, that's not going to work. Well, maybe that's got to be N and this has got to be S. So what would that look like? Pingers. Nah, not going to work. Springe. Yeah, this scores quite well. I draw the X. which is always a welcome sight. I do have Vex here for 44. What do I have? I have Reeve, 36. Finances, good score by opponent. What about very? 42. I get to keep the X, which I've identified 2 hotspots for the following move. I think this is very decent. I'm going with it. Okay, I draw the second blank, or the first blank, because the second one hasn't been played. I've got Helix. I have AXE here for a decent 37. Does give back some scores with an F or a W. That's not ideal. How about Hex? 44 with a pretty decent rack leave, but am I missing an 8 through this I? A word perhaps beginning with EX. Exhale. Exhale. Exhedral. But that would require the N to be a different letter. What about this I? So if I had ING, it would be... Okay, opponents played wipe. Just looking at a few other X hotspots. I think Hex looks okay. It doesn't give too much back to opponent and scores well. Wow. That's a rack. Kangles and S. That'll work. Kangles. Now, what about something onto the L or ending in ING? No, not with that L. Doesn't look good. What about a word ending in L? Conjugal. No. Okay, opponent takes out the H, which is a shame. That would have scored quite nicely. Kangle's still available. And what about a S word? Swipe and... Not seeing an S word. I'm going with Kangles. I draw the J and the Z. I've got to watch my time a little bit. Z. Him is good, but that's where it ends. Opponent plays Oot. Uh, 17 tiles in the bag, including a Q and a K. QI would be a big score at the top. Maybe just MI to take it out, but my Z and J currently don't play to good effect. I mean, I could just play JIZ here to block the lane. It seems like such a waste of two high-scoring tiles. I think Fizz is better. I'm going with Fizz for 35. Ejido is good. EJIDO. Ejido, like this. Not seeing a great spot for that. Looking at J plays through this A. Haven't identified any. What about jammed? Jammied. Jammied. I don't think jammied is good. Jammied is, but not jammied. Jammied. No. Jammed would be, though. I have the IST ending. Kiloist. Sounds a bit of a stretch. Finances. Doesn't have any hooks. Roiled also. Do I take the L out? Because that's the best. Well, best bingo lane is probably column N, hooking on to Y. L would have to be an 8-letter word. So, do I take out the L? I wonder. Skit. I wonder, do I play skit? Scores hardly anything, but it does take out the L. I mean, you could play around the L and the T, but that's highly unlikely. Opponent's created an opening. I'm down to 2.5 minutes. 8 in the bag. I have nothing for going in front of TE, but I like skit. Maybe not. Talk is good, but I can't play across there. What about just ill? And then I'll score better with my K next turn. Yeah, that just kills the L. I'm playing this. And now, KO is no good. K on is good. Okay, opponent does bingo there, so his plan did pay off. I have boat. Boke is good as well, but not KE. I'll go with boat. Opponent's got QU. What can he do with his Q? He can play QI, but that's not going to win him the game. I'm not seeing a Q play onto the... No, I think I'll go with boat, and then... Yeah. And then sick or KIS. Or ski. Ski looks okay here. Bathers and ski for 24. Yeah. What about inks? That's pretty good. Opponent's created a spot for me. 30 to go out. And that's the end of the game. 474 to 392. Thank my opponent. Let's see what we missed. Okay, back to the beginning. Unarai or unary. Unary probably. Opponent went with AU for 12. It's probably what I would have done. Not overly familiar with unary. Now I had this W rack here. I went with U2, that seems okay. And then opponent's got a nice rack, but not quite a bingo. He goes with Anne. And then Bath for 22, Beath. B-E-A-T-H, I like that. Beath would have been slightly better, 5 points better. Look how similar the equities are though, because this rack just a smidge better than the other one. So still a good play, Bath, I thought. And then AE for 10 in 2 spots. There was 14 on offer at K5. Making bathe, yeah. And then I've got no bingo here. iDollar, Ladino, a few scores in the early 20s. I went with oiled for 22. Addressed and Raddest. Opponent spots the 80-point bingo there. Now Annie Line does not go down, but Renail was the highest score. And now opponent's got Ur for 23. That is the highest score. I mean, it's the best equity score because of the rack leave. So that was a good play. Now, Springe for 89. Okay, it was best. I thought there might be a higher scoring play. But the P did get tripled and the whole word doubled. Now, opponent has Fascine for 91 if he had played it across the top of Springe, just hooking on to the S. So Fascine or Fiancés, or Fiances. He goes with Finances for 76. And then Very for 42 or Vexer for 48. Vexer, okay, that's not bad. Through the E of Springe, but pretty similar equities. Very was okay, I thought. Now wave for 35. Opponent goes with wipe. And no bingo here. Hex for 44 with EL and blank is the highest scoring equity at 72. And Avo for 19. Nothing great on offer here from this rack. Now, there were some high scorers blenching through the HI of, that's quite nice. Blenching and fleeching. So fleecing is good, but you can slot a H in as well. Fleeching and flenching. Clench. Oh, I should have spotted clenching, but it's hard when you've got two blanks on the rack and you're trying to visualize letters. So Lucigen is quite nice too, but I went with Kangles. And I think the other benefit of playing clenching is opponent wouldn't have been able to utilize the floaters, whereas here it does offer the C and the A. Now opponent had toothing. He could have also used the HI. Wow. That's quite a handy two-letter set so far for both me and opponent. He goes with Oot for 21. Now J and Z on the rack. Ms for 41 at N4. Ms, but Z does take an A and an E. So, but it's a good score, 41. I went with Fizz for 35, and the idea was to frustrate the I and the L. Moz as well on offer at N4. Yeah, but I still like Fizz for board management. Twanger. Opponent's got Wreathing. Again, the HI. Amazing how often it's offered itself to bingo prospects. Wreathing. Wrathing for 40, but Wreathing the only bingo. Opponent went with Or. Now, Jammed for 34 was fine. Similar equity to Jiao. Where was Jiao? Yeah, Jiao. Not bad, but Jammed also fine. Earthing, again, through the HI, but not a bingo this time. Opponent went with TE to create the opening. No bingo here. KI for 24. I just thought I'd take out the ill, but maybe I would have been better maybe playing through the M or something. Anyway, Granta comes down for 67. I wonder, even if I played, let me just go back to this. If I played KHIS, keys, then opponent can't, unless he ends his bingo on an O, which is unlikely, he doesn't have space to play the bingo there. So keys might have been an interesting play, 20 points, just for the blocking potential that it offered. Easy to say in retrospect, but I should really have addressed this danger. Yeah, maybe even limo. Anyway, that was that. Granta comes down, and then Basto for 39. That's quite nice. Bait, ANSTTEN, a nice parallel 5-letter play, basto. Probably an Italian word. Basto. Maybe not. And then opponent's got souk for 24, nothing great score-wise. And then I've got inks for 30, ski for 24 was the other one at M6. So that was the end of that one. 1 or 2 misses, and I had a good flow of the tiles that game, it must be said. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.